Need hidden stash inside, fully loaded. Don't try me. I got the team, pockets is deep. Look in my eyes when you talking to me, bitch. She can keep all of my secrets. She know her body my weakness. I don't know how to defeat this. Going back to my old ways. Yeah, always. Going back to my old ways. Yeah, always. Going back to my old ways. Yeah, always. I'm just going back to my old ways. Yeah. Call me right with me. I don't mind some company. Cut the lights, keep it discreet. Fuck the price, get that for free. Call me right with me.
What's up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy, Chris. I'm back talking some NFL again. I mean, look, I've been going back and forth with a lot of people this week about Matt Stafford. Is he a Hall of Famer? I told everybody coming into this game, this was going to be a legacy game for him. So I'm going to get into that some more, give my thoughts, on where he stands on the whole Hall of Fame debate, if he's in or not, based on what he's done so far. But before I do that, shout out to Brett Creation on the music. We got some bangers over there just for some background audio for you. Give a little vibe to the podcast. So thank you to him for doing that. If you're not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Really helps the channel grow. But yeah, back to Matt Stafford, man. I've been really kind of going back and forth. I've seen good evidence from both sides. Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? And, right now my answer is probably. And I know that's not the answer everybody wants to hear. They want to hear, people take a side. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he not? But I think probably. As of right now, I think if he walked away, after this season, I don't think he would get in. But I got to say, he's only 34 years old. So he still has, in my opinion, at least 4 solid years left in him. I think he's going to move up on some of these passing yardage lists. He's 12th right now in passing yards, 11th in completions, 12th in touchdowns. So I think he will move definitely in the top 10, maybe in the top 5 in touchdowns and yards, which, top 5 in touchdowns and yards. He has a Super Bowl. I know he wasn't a Super Bowl MVP, but that's nothing to scoff at right there. I mean, I don't know what you guys, criteria for the Hall of Fame is. But, I mean, for me, I just think you have to be a great player. And I think, if you can justify that this player was great, I think you can put him in. And I think that there's arguments to be made both ways, if Matt Stafford is great or not, I've seen Richard Sherman in particular. He said Matt Stafford only been to 1 Pro Bowl, no All Pros, no MVPs. He wasn't the MVP of the Super Bowl, nothing like that. No Offensive Player of the Year awards. So he doesn't really have many accolades. Actually, on his page here, the only real accolade other than that 1 Pro Bowl and his Super Bowl win, he was the comeback player of the year in 2011. So I mean, that's not the greatest awards, for your only accolade. So I got to give people some, that's why I say if he retired right now, I don't think he'd be in. He's not top 10 or even top 5 in the yards and touchdowns. So I think that, that makes a difference for sure. Only 1 Pro Bowl. I don't consider Pro Bowls, at all when I'm evaluating players. First off, it's a popularity contest. Obviously, Matt Stafford played in Detroit, and, other players, frankly, were just in a better situation to win. A guy like Aaron Rodgers, for example, he played in Green Bay, took over, for another Hall of Fame quarterback in Brett Favre. So, I mean, he definitely had a way better situation than Matt Stafford, right? So yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford's only 5,000 passing yards behind him, and he came in the league 4 years later. And I know, Aaron Rodgers sat out for a while, but still, that means that Matt Stafford, in theory, is probably going to last a little bit longer. And honestly, he probably will pass Aaron Rodgers in terms of yards, touchdowns. I mean, maybe not the touchdowns. I got to look at the list again, but I think he, let's just make that case. If he passes Aaron Rodgers for those things, they both have one Super Bowl. Now Aaron Rodgers has the MVPs, the Super Bowls. But, if Aaron Rodgers is, clear first ballot Hall of Famer, and their resume is, on paper at least, minus the awards, which we'll get into some of that. Like, I think, Matt Stafford has to be at least considered. That's really all I'm trying to say here, is that I think Matt Stafford just definitely has to be considered. Because, think about this. Okay, he's only been to one Pro Bowl. But I want to bring up the 2011 season. That season where he won Comeback Player of the Year. Right? He threw for 5,038 yards. 41 touchdowns to only 16 interceptions. The team went 10-6, made the playoffs. This is the Detroit Lions, mind you. 10-6, made the playoffs, and they lost. What was the score in this one? I think 24-20, they lost the game to the New Orleans Saints in the first round of the playoffs. So I mean, I think 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, that's definitely Pro Bowl worthy. But he wasn't selected to the Pro Bowl that season. So yeah, I mean, that's why when I say I don't really look at Pro Bowl, because I would have to look at the 2011 Pro Bowl roster, but 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns. I mean, that's a snub, man. Those are definitely Pro Bowl numbers. So, also I have written out here the 2017 season. This is another season. This was pretty good for Matt Stafford. 4,446 yards. Played all 16 games. 29 touchdowns. Only 10 picks. The team was 9-7. I think they just missed out on the playoffs that year. But again, no Pro Bowl. That's obviously not the 5,000 yard numbers, but 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 10 picks. Those are Pro Bowl numbers, in my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want to. But hey, look, it is what it is. I think this guy's been, good the whole time. It's just really about what you believe. And I think he's been good the whole time that he was on the Lions. I don't really think anybody, is gonna succeed on a bad team like that. And I think a lot of people that played football can talk about this a lot more. When you're on a bad team, it's really hard to stand out, to shine. In terms of the whole league, 32 or 31 other teams, it's hard to stand out and be looked at as one of the top players in the game if the rest of your team is just terrible. And I think the Lions, since I've been alive, since I've been watching football, I think they have literally proved that they're a terrible organization. And just straight up, they are. They pretty much forced Barry Sanders, who I believe is one of the top 3 greatest running backs ever. They forced him to retire pretty much when he was, he still had it. He would have easily broken the rushing record, and he just walked away because they were just so inept as a franchise, and they wouldn't let him leave. Similar situation with Calvin Johnson. They just terrible organization, weren't going anywhere, wasn't going to win anything. Look, talent-wise, Megatron, one of the best receivers of all time, but if you consider the accolades, no one's going to look at him in the same breath as a Randy Moss or T.O. or Jerry Rice or any of those guys, because he played for the Lions, so I can't just hold that against Matt Stafford his whole career. The accolades. Look, I think he should have been in the Pro Bowl this year. 4,886 yards. Oh gosh, my thing's messing up here. But 4,886 yards, 41 touchdowns. Now they said he led the league with 17 picks, but 41 touchdowns and 17 picks, I'll take that any day. Like the team was 12-5. Yeah, like I said, to me that's Pro Bowl numbers. 26-10 last year on a 5-11 Lions team with 4,000 yards. Hey, these are Pro Bowl numbers to me. Like I said, you can disagree. It is what it is. But, the last piece of evidence that I wanted to present tonight about Matt Stafford and why I think that he's probably going to make the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying he's in right now, but I think he's probably going to make it. Look at his playoff record. He's 4-3 in the playoffs. 13 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, averaging 299.4 yards a game. So 300 yards a game in 7 playoff games. 13-6 on touchdowns, 3 game-winning drives. So 3 out of his 4 wins in the playoffs so far, Matt Stafford went down, put together a game-winning drive. So, hey, say what you want about Matt Stafford, but literally the last 3 games, Matt Stafford had a game-winning drive. And I know you could say, they dropped the interception, or Cooper Kupp took over the game, or hey, the Bucs defense just terrible coverage. Like, he still went out there and did it. And, no one says those things about, I guess people do say those things about Tom Brady, but he gets the benefit of the doubt. He gets the credit when the team wins. So, got to give Matt Stafford credit for what he's done this season, for sure. And, and he played 12 seasons with the Lions. And I've seen a lot of people saying, he's under 500. Like, okay, he's literally only 9 games under 500 right now, his regular season record. Like I said, he's got more years left. The Rams stay relevant. He'll be over 500. And I know you say, what's so significant about that? And I think it's because, Eli Manning, good example. I think a lot of people would say he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And I get it. He won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And, hey, Matt Stafford didn't win this Super Bowl MVP. But, there was other people in those Giants games that definitely could have gotten MVP. Nobody would have been mad. And I think the story would have still been the same. People would put Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. Right or wrong. I think Eli Manning, I guess he's a Hall of Famer. I think he is. So, look, Matt Stafford's probably, anything could happen. But Matt Stafford's probably going to end up with more passing yards, touchdowns, a better record in the regular season. Hey, he has 1 Super Bowl. Eli Manning has 2. Like, Eli Manning was never seen as the best quarterback in the league. Nobody ever thought that about him. I would say nobody ever thought that Ben Roethlisberger was the best quarterback in the league. So I just don't understand, why that is the criteria. There's a lot of players in the NFL that, no one ever thought they were the best player in the league. No one ever thought Steve Largent was the best receiver. And I can go on like that for days and days. Like, no one thought that. But he's in the Hall of Fame because he had a good career. And at the end of the day, Matt Stafford is putting together a good career. And I think when it's all said and done, we're going to look back and Matt Stafford's going to be a Hall of Famer. And some people are going to like it. Some people won't. So that's my take on the situation. Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? You can let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know on any of our social medias. They're right here on the side. Dude, I actually did it first time, pointed the right way this time. So, yeah, hit us up on social media. Let us know if you think Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer or not. That's really my whole argument. I think if he retired right now, no. But I think by the time he does retire and actually, finishes his career out here in LA, I think he will be in the Hall of Fame. So that's it. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Like this video. Thanks for the support. Obviously if you made it this far, you're a true sports nerd, and I appreciate that. Have a good one. I'm out.